So now I'm here to talk to you about sales persistency and getting referrals. As you all know, I co-wrote the book. This changes everything with our president, Don Spini. And many of you are getting referrals, doing a great job with it. Many of you still aren't asking for referrals, and maybe you should reread the book. Your business needs to be a referral business ongoing. So let's talk about persistency. When I mean sales persistency, I mean after the sale is made, how many of your clients stay on the books long term? Rarely do we talk about this. There's a saying called, the business that stays is the business that pays. The business that stays is the business that pays, okay? So it ain't, when I first started, I told you my story about the $8,000 a year, $16,000, $32,000. Y'all know that story. What you don't know that I haven't ever told anybody was that I sold much more than that, but got charged back, and all I had left was $8,000, right? I can't remember the number, but it was like, maybe my first year was like $30,000, like $22,000 of it charged back. That's how I ended up at $8,000. And then finally, a mentor of mine came along and said, Terry, what are you doing? Why is your persistency, the business that you sell, why is it falling off the books in the first year? What is going on? And so I did my presentation for the gentleman. And he said, listen, it's not that bad. It's just that you're in a hurry to get up and take their check and their application and run out the door. What I want you to do, this changed my life. What I want you to do, he said, was I want you to push the sale back to them. And I want you to ask them what they bought. Have them repeat back to you what they bought. And I said, my goodness, I got sweaty hands just listening to this. Like my palms started sweating, right? I was used to just getting the sale, throwing it in my bag and running out. Man, thank goodness I got that one. And then it would charge back 3 days later or a month later or 6 months later. And so he says, listen, how quickly would you like to know if the person really wants to buy this and they understand what they're buying? So push it back to them and let them repeat it. And here's what would happen initially. I'd push it back to them and I'd say, please, Mr. So-and-so, please repeat to me what you just bought. And at first they kind of chuckled, and then I'd say, no, I'm serious. I really want to make sure you understand what you got here. And then when the words that came back out of their mouth was like, well, it's a blah, 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 blah. And it was like horrible. Like they didn't know anything about what they just bought. And that did a couple things for me. Number one, it got me to learn to be a better salesperson by making sure my client was staying with me throughout the sale. Taught me to start asking questions of them about about my presentation, so I knew that they were following along, right? I made sure that it was sinking in. The next thing it did for me was this is what was happening. It helped me get referrals, but it helped me stay persistent because here's what was happening. The minute I grabbed that check and that application, put it in my bag, ran out to the car and left, they would call their brother-in-law. They'd call somebody they knew and start talking to them about what they just did. And if they couldn't explain it, guess what? The brother-in-law is like, what did you just buy? I don't even know what you just said. That sounds like garbage. Hey, listen, just cancel that and I'll go ahead and send my guy over to you. That sounds horrible because they couldn't explain it. It was like, da 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 da. Huh? What'd you just say? You just bought a what? Well, guess what? Now, if they, instead of canceling it, having that guy's come along, guess what happened for me now? Now, if they can explain it right to me, they can explain it right to that person, to their brother-in-law, sister, whoever it is, mom, dad, whoever they're telling on the phone or whatever it is, they can explain it right. And all of a sudden that person becomes what? A referral to me. Instead of being, now that person's coming to me wanting that same policy. Does that make sense? So once you could get your client to understand it, repeat it back to you. That's the key. A lot of us, think about it in life. You think you know it until you try to say it. Like a lot of us trying to do presentations, right? We're like, we got this one. Even me talking on the camera most of the time, I got it right in my head and I go to say it and it's like, comes out like, foreign language. Well, guess what? Same thing with your client. They think they know what they bought. And until they go to spit it back out, then you realize, oh, shoot, you don't know what you're talking about. So then you take back the policy. If it sounds horrible, you take it back and say, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go back through it again. Because this is serious. You're making a serious decision today. And I want to make sure that you bought the right thing. And that you know it's the right thing for you. And that you're able to articulate it back to me. And I'm telling you guys, your persistency will go through the roof. Your business will stick. You'll get tons of referrals. You'll make every one of your clients into a referral source, okay? They'll be out selling for you if they can tell the other people what it's about. So make sure you're doing that. Push the sale back. Ask them what they bought. Don't be worried about it. Don't be scared. You want to know now if it's not the right thing for them, okay? You don't want to wait till 6 months from now and you get a chargeback. That's horrible. I've been through all that. You don't want to do it. So here you go. And by the way, let me throw one more thing at you. Life insurance, when you sell life insurance and you get it right, and I just did a training on pension maximization, and you get life insurance right, you get about 1,000 policies on the books, and guess what? Guess what happens? Unfortunately, your clients start to pass away, right? And I say unfortunately because there's nothing else we can do about it. But guess what comes out of that? Huge death benefits. Huge death benefits. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars from the life insurance. You get that. You get to do the death benefit. You get to deliver the death benefit. You get them to reinvest it, and all of a sudden, if you got an annuity book, you're filling up your annuity book. If you got an RIA book, a registered investment advisory, you're starting to fill it up. But you start to get a whole bunch of assets under management. Life insurance is the most amazing thing on the planet, right? Let me say one more thing. I'm on a roll right now. Life insurance is the only product, guys. Think about this for a minute. That you collect a check for $200 and get paid $1,000. What other product in the world do you get paid 4 or 5 times as much as the client paid? If a realtor sells a house, guess what? They get 3% or 6% of the total sale. That's what most products do. Life insurance is the only product that pays 400 or 500% of what the client gave you. It's the most amazing product in the whole world. And all the other benefits that we know about, tax deferral, tax-free withdrawals, all that stuff, and then living benefits. Man, it's the most amazing thing ever. So let's stay after it. Talk to you soon.